Hi, I'm Jeff, and this is Jeff's Wood Carving Channel. We're back, and today I'm going to talk to you about the wood carving knives that I use, and the chisels that I use, and a few other things. And the knives that I use, so I'm going to save you guys a lot of money and time. I invested money into a lot of crappy knives. I went through a whole bunch of them. So what I come down to is this. I started watching more of the pros and the really advanced guys, and they all pretty much were doing the same thing. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Helvie knives, H-E-L-V-I-E knives were what the guys were using, and so I had bought a Helvie knife off from eBay, a used one, and when I got it, I loved it. So the knife set I decided to go with was the Stegall Signature Series knives, and I love these knives. Now I got 4 of them. There's these 4 right here, and this is a Roughout knife, another Roughout knife, this is a sweep back knife, which I use this a lot for curves, and this is kind of another sweep back knife, and I use this one quite a bit. So this is the knife set that I went with, Stegall Signature Series knives from Helvie.com. Now, you need a detail knife. So I got this detail knife from Chipping Away, and it is a great knife. It is for doing small work like eyes and that sort of thing, detail work, and you should have a detail knife. And I love the way this thing fits in my hand. I picked up another detail knife, which is a little smaller, and this is also a very nice knife, and I bought this one off from eBay, but I don't remember the guy that I got it from. It's another great detail knife. So these are the knives that I use, along with a hook knife, Swiss made, that I use for doing a lot of eyes and that sort of thing. And this is a great knife. These are extremely sharp. Helvie knives, I'm very satisfied with those. They're beautiful knives. This is why Stegall uses them, and they're just great knives. And I can show you how sharp these things are if you want to get up close here. Okay, so the cut they make is just phenomenal. So, Stegall, I love your knives. They work great. And I'll be using these from now on. Now, I'd wasted a lot of money buying a lot of other wood chisels. These are palm chisels. So, in the end, I noticed what a lot of the experts were using and professionals, and they're Swiss made from Pfeil palm chisels. These are worth the investment. I mean, they are worth it. They're kind of pricey, I can tell you that, but they are phenomenal. I mean, I love these Swiss made chisels. And I wouldn't use anything else now that I bought the Swiss made. These things are razor sharp. The quality is just beautiful on them. And you know what you're getting no matter what Swiss made tool that you get from Pfeil. So this is my chisel set, one of them. The other chisel set I use is Swiss made, and these are more of the micro tools. They're much smaller. And you can see how small this gouge is. Very small. Now, for doing detail work, you need yourself a set of dockyard, and almost everybody uses these. Chisels. They're V tools. There's the V's, and here's the gouges. And trust me, if you're really into this, and really want to do detail work, you get yourself dockyard chisel set. Oops. There you go. And they're made in the USA. And these things are awesome. Once I got these, my work got better and better and better. Very sharp, really good quality tool. And this is what I use for my detail work on top of my Swiss made tools. These are my micro gouges. And I have a lot more of these, but they haven't came in yet. Now the dockyard doesn't come with a holder, and this is a piece of walnut that I had here in the shop, and I made myself a stand for my dockyard tools. Once I got this done, I realized these are really sharp because I've got a cat that runs around here in the shop. So this is a holster that I had for something, I don't remember what it is now, but I use that to drop over the top. When I'm not using it, it's like Levi jeans. Works really good. Okay, so basswood. That's what everybody carves in, is basswood. Now, what kind of basswood is best to get? Heineke basswood. Now, I put all the links down below the video to tell you right where to get this stuff. But Heineke basswood comes from the north, and it is the finest, tightest grain basswood that you can get. It is absolutely great for wood carving. Now southern basswood has a lot bigger grain in it, and I hate that stuff. I've used it before, and it doesn't carve anywhere as nice as Heineke basswood does. The basswood in the north grows much slower than it does in the deep south. So the deep south, the rings are a lot bigger, and the wood is just a lot softer. So you go with Heineke basswood, and you're going to be doing a lot better job on your carvings than you are with cheap southern basswood or any cheap southern basswood that you get some other places. You'll be disappointed when you're carving. It'll chip and all kinds of stuff, and you'll think it's you doing it. It's not, it's the crappy basswood. So, if you want to start carving, and you don't want to take a little block of basswood and just start carving, there's another way there is to start carving. Now there's another way to start carving if you want to do this, and a lot of people do. They'll buy what's called a Roughout. Now Roughout, they make them in basswood, and you can get just all kinds of Roughouts, Santa Clauses, elves, bears, whatever. And this Roughout is a Roger Stegall Roughout, and this is what I'm going to be working on. I penciled him all out, and pretty much he's ready to start carving when you get it. I mean, this is pretty much how you get it. Now I already carved out in between the legs, so I messed with it already. And I've already kind of carved out the hat. But the nice thing is the dimensions are all there for you, and they'll come with this. All your Roughouts will come with pictures like this. Show you what it's supposed to look like in the end. Now, this is a great way to carve, trust me, especially like on this cowboy. Now this is a Roger Stegall design. I love this. I'm going to be working on this, and I think this is just called his Stash Cowboy. And so I'm going to be trying to do this and see how it turns out. And I love the way Roger Stegall carves. Now, I like the way a lot of other people carve too, like Dave Stetson. He is another carver that I love. But so I've decided I'm going to start carving like Roger Stegall. So this Roughout, you can just go to rogerstegallwoodcarvings.com and to get his Roughouts. And he's down in Arkansas. So nice guy. I got this really quick. I'm real happy with the pictures and the color, the painting he does. The painting is really great too. So Roger Stegall knives, Roger Stegall Roughout. Helvie knives. So, okay, just to give you an example of some of the things, these are the first things that I carved with the utility knife was this Indian head. And this cowboy head. And I did these solely with a utility knife. You should practice carving. Before you get a Roughout like Roger Stegall's, get some time under your belt a little bit and just practice carving. Now here's some basswood feathers that I carved, and I did this with that utility knife. I'd like to show you. See how they're rounded off? And the inside is cupped out. All done with a utility knife, and I really didn't know what I was doing. And before I started carving, I learned how to carve a hand. So I believe this project is in Wood Carving Illustrated, and I carved a human hand, which is really, really helpful. Because as you can see, Roger's guy, he's got a hand here that holds his rifle, and of course this hand is in his pocket. But it's really helpful to carve things like this in advance, or in the beginning, before you actually start carving. And these are good visual guides to go by. And one more thing, I went to Dylan Goodson, and these are called study sticks. And I'll show you a study stick. I bought this from Dylan Goodson. This is a study stick on how to make eyes. These are actually real human eyes, not characterized. And this study stick, and like all of them do, there's step 1, there's the cut you make. There's step 2, the next cut you make. And 3, 4, and 5, and so on, up to number 10, the finished eye. And there's an eye looking down, and a heavy upper lid. And this was a great study stick to buy. On the very top, Dylan laid out the knives and the chisels that he used to make that human eye, and what he used on this study stick. Worked great. So here's my study stick. Whoops. Start on the right side. Here's my study stick I started out with, and this was southern basswood. And it was real fuzzy, chippy, pop, you know. And I thought it was me, but it turns out this was southern basswood. And there's my finished eye. I got all done, and pow, a chip broke out. So I made my own study stick from Dylan Goodson's. And these are very good things you should do before you start carving. Learn how to carve an eye. Learn how to carve a hand. Now Roger Stegall, for instance, each caricature carver is different. Roger has his own style of carving caricature eyes, and everybody seems to have their own style. Now if you want to carve eyes like Roger Stegall, then learn how to carve eyes like Roger Stegall. And he does have a YouTube channel that I've been watching. It's really great, and he'll show you his style of eyes. So pick the style you want to. There's a lot of guys that carve, and they have their own style of carving like eyes. And eyes are everything on your wood carving. You've got to get eyes down pat, or your wood carving is going to suck. Trust me, it will suck. The eyes are everything on a wood carving. Now here's another great guy. Well, Skylar Johnson makes study sticks. And this is a Harold Enlow study stick from 1986. I bought this thing off from eBay, and he shows you how to carve a woman's face and head. And here's step 1 up here, 2, 3, all the way down to the finished girl. So study sticks are very nice to have. This is another Harold and Lowe study stick, and this one is just ears. So over here he shows you step 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are great things to practice doing if you really want to character carve. So this is a 2008 Harold and Lowe, and this guy is great. He's like the grandfather of character carving. Been doing it since the early 70s, I think, or maybe before that. So I guess that's it for this video. If you don't want to do the carving the hand and the study sticks and all that sort of stuff, you just want to grab a stick of basswood or even a tree limb from outdoors and start hacking away at it with your utility knife, then just do that. It's a lot of fun. But if you really get into it, these other tools that I showed you are what I ended up with. And I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and I bought a lot of tools that I didn't need, and I bought a lot of tools that I wasn't happy with. So from my experience, if you want lifetime tools that are going to last you the rest of your life, and you're going to take them to the grave with you or give them to your grandkids or whatever when you pass away, then I would buy Swiss made gouges and buy Helvie knives right off the bat. They cost more, but trust me, they are worth it. A knife of half the price, you're not going to be happy with it. You're probably going to throw it away and end up buying another one, and before you know it, you have more money into all that cheap crap than you would have just spent the money and bought quality stuff to begin with. Well, I'm Jeff, and I'll see you on the next video, and pretty soon here we're going to start wood carving, but I thought I would get you started with the tools that you should have before we start carving, okay? And we're going to get to carving here pretty quick, but I'll see you on my next video.